Web development is an exciting, constantly evolving, fast-paced field that has tons of opportunities whether you want to get a job or become a freelancer or build your own product. With the field that is constantly evolving, you will always have a chance to learn new technologies and stay up to date. In this video, we will go from how to get into this field to how to set up your website up and running on the internet. I will also share some of the important resources from where you can learn all these technologies. And yes, all the links are given in the description. So without further ado, let's get started. Before starting how to become a web developer, let's start with what are the different types of developers. At first, front-end developers. So, front-end developers are the developers who are specialized in the development of the user interfaces as well as client-side aspects of the web application. They are responsible for building the visual elements of the web application, including layout, design, and the interactive features. Apart from this, they should be able to troubleshoot and debug the issues that may arise in the web application. Moving forward to the next type, backend developers. Backend developers are not like this. Backend developers are the developers who work in the development of the server side and the database management of the web application. They are responsible for building and maintaining the backend of the web application, and they should be able to manage the database as well. The next type is full stack developers. Full stack developers are the developers who are proficient in the front end as well as backend technologies. They are able to develop and maintain web application from end to end, including user interfaces, server-side logic, as well as database management. This type of developers usually have great salary as compared to both of front-end and the back-end developers. You must have heard about all the technical words such as React.js, Munstack, JavaScript, Django. But before moving to all this stuff, you have to get started with the building block of the web development, which are HTML and CSS. In HTML, you should be aware of different semantic tags, different attributes. You have to learn about how to make HTML tables, how to take input from user with the help of HTML forms, etc. You can learn HTML from different documentations such as W3 Schools. I will suggest you to get started with the documentation and watch the YouTube videos for the reference along with the documentation. You can also watch this particular crash course from Traversy Media on HTML. Moving towards the CSS. In CSS, the best way to learn is learn by doing, because CSS is so vast that you cannot mug up all the CSS properties. Use this particular documentation from MDN wherever you want a reference for any CSS property. You can also play along with some properties by changing its padding, margin, shadow, etc. If you really like CSS and want to get deep into it, he is CSS master for real. You should be having solid knowledge about Flexbox and Grid in CSS. Once you learn basics of the CSS, it's time to build some small projects like landing pages, pricing pages, or you can make the clone of any website using HTML and CSS. One important thing you should remember is that you can learn while doing rather than just mugging up the HTML tags and the CSS properties. Once you build ample amount of projects with HTML and CSS, you can learn any of the CSS framework. Now, you must be wondering that what are frameworks? So have you seen molds of the different objects where instead of making the object from scratch, you just have to use the particular already available mold and you have to make the particular object. The concept of the CSS frameworks is similar to this. You can use already available components rather than making them from scratch. After making few projects with the help of CSS framework, you can move towards learning the language of the browser, which is JavaScript. You can give proper time for learning JavaScript, as JavaScript is one of the important pillars of the web development for both front-end as well as back-end. I know there are a bunch of extremely popular JavaScript frameworks you are heard of, but in my personal opinion, you should give proper time to JavaScript before jumping towards any of the frameworks available out there. Here are some important concepts in JavaScript that you have to learn, such as JavaScript Basics, Document Object Model. After learning DOM manipulation and events, you can learn about some advanced concepts in JavaScript, such as asynchronous JavaScript, fetching API with the help of JavaScript, etc. There are plenty of resources from which you can learn JavaScript for free. And yes, all the resources that I am talking about, the links of all those resources are in the description below. Once you have learned JavaScript in isolated space, it's time to make projects with the help of HTML, CSS and JavaScript. You can make variety of projects with the help of these three technologies. You can make portfolio of your own with the help of HTML, CSS, JavaScript as well. There are plenty of available projects on YouTube. You just have to search HTML, CSS, JavaScript projects tutorials. You will get plenty of the projects. Up till this point of time, you must have built lot of projects. But imagine a situation where you lost your laptop. In this case, all of your projects and your hard work that you put in will be get lost. So it is recommended that you should push your project on any of the code hosting platform such as GitHub and GitLab. But before this, you have to learn version control system called Git. This will help you to track the changes in your code. This will also allow the opportunity for you to work in a group project simultaneously. You can watch this particular video from my channel to learn Git and GitHub. You build some project, but what if we want to host your website on internet? With a custom domain, anyone can see your website. So for that, there are different hosting platforms that will provide you a custom domain for free. Just connect your GitHub to the Vercel or the Netlify account and host your website by just importing your Git repo inside there. But if you want to host your website to your own domain, devgrammar.com for example, so I have to own this particular domain. So the options are Namecheap, GoDaddy and domain.com. You can buy your own domain from any of these websites. So at this point of time, you have so many ways you can go for. The first one is that you can master JavaScript and you can build different projects on the core JavaScript. The second one is that you can learn any of the JavaScript framework such as React, Angular, Vue or Svelte. The third part here is that you can move to the backend development where you can learn any of the server-side language so that you can create backend servers as well as database. My personal advice here will be to learn any of the JavaScript framework. You can choose any of the path, but I will consider the second path to go with. So, as we have talked about the JavaScript frameworks, so there are 4 main options. So, if you don't have time to think, then simply go with React.js. If we talk about the trends in the 2022, React.js is the most preferable JavaScript framework. You can search over internet and you can see there are plenty of the jobs which are available as a React developers as compared to any other JavaScript framework. If you want to learn React, then React.js has very great documentation. But if you want to learn from videos, then these are the resources which you will find on YouTube. If you want to learn by doing, you can join this particular free course from scrimba.com. And of course, if you can pay, then you can buy any of this particular React.js course from Udemy. Okay, so starting with the backend development. So to learn backend development, you have to first choose one server-side language. Here you have plenty of options, but if you ask my personal opinion, I would like to say choose Node.js because you have worked on your JavaScript skills and JavaScript concepts on the front end already. So it will be easy for you to grasp Node.js concepts and you can use your JavaScript skills over backend as well. But if you want to learn Node.js, there is one great tutorial by Programming with Mosh. So you can follow this particular tutorial if you want to learn Node.js. So after learning any of the server-side language, the next path would be web frameworks. So again, here are plenty of options. So if you have learned Node.js, you can go further with Express.js. If you have chosen Python as a server-side language, you can go further with Django or Flask. There are plenty of options. Again, you can choose by your own preference. So once you have learned one server-side language as well as one web framework, half of your backend development is done. The next part in the backend development would be the database management. Databases are covered in mainly 2 types. The first one being is SQL and the second one is non-SQL. So in SQL, you have plenty of options. You can either go with MySQL or you can go with PostgreSQL. In the non-SQL section, you can go further with MongoDB. Once you learn these particular technologies, you can build full-fledged, full-stack application with the different stacks. The first one HTML, CSS, JavaScript in the front end, and in back end you can go with your server-side language. Or the second way, you can build your full stack application in MERN stack. The full form of the MERN is MongoDB, Express.js, React.js and Node.js. This is very popular tech stack on which you can build so many projects. If you want to build one great project on MERN stack, you can take this course from Traversy Media from Udemy. And if you want to learn MERN stack for free, you can follow this particular tutorial from JavaScript Mastery. I must say, by learning these particular technologies, you are on the road of becoming full stack developer. But you can extend your learning by going into the field of DevOps. For the DevOps, you can follow this particular DevOps roadmap by Hitesh Chaudhary. Thank you for watching. If you got value from this particular video, please like the video, subscribe to my YouTube channel and stay tuned for more amazing content like this.